Before I go any further, I just want to start off by saying I know that this sucks. Like, I really know that this loss, this pain, whatever your story is, whatever your situation, your circumstance is, I just want to start by acknowledging that this sucks. And you might be sitting there feeling angry. You might be feeling like, why did you ever enter into this relationship? You might be feeling so much pain, loss, regret, hurt. Like, you can't even move. You don't even want to do anything. And yeah, you can watch all the Netflix in the world and you can eat all the chocolate ice cream and do all the cliches and talk to your friends about it. But ultimately, that pain doesn't go anywhere, does it? It walks around with you. It talks to you. And you have these thoughts ruminating in your head. Should I have seen the signs earlier? Could I have done more? Was I in the wrong? And for some people, the hardest thing is forgiving themselves. For some people, it's forgiving the other person for the wrongs that they did. For some people, it's getting over something that happened a long time ago. For some people, it's just making it through the day. And I don't know your story, I don't know your situation, but what I do know is there are some universal things, some principles that if you follow, it'll make it easier. I won't promise that it's gonna just fix everything in one day or in one video, but it'll make it easier. It'll give you a bit more hope. It's cliche of me to say this, but it is love and relationships that give us the most purpose and meaning in our lives. And when someone close to us, someone that mattered, is gone, you need to grieve, but you also need to grow. And so the question for this video is, what can you do? What are some of those universal principles that work not just for everyone else, but for you too? And I'm going to share them with you in this video. So keep watching right to the end so that you can heal, move forward, and not just grieve, but grow at the same time. Hey friends, I want to start today's video off by saying simply, I'm sorry and I love you. And thank you for choosing to be here. The first thing you need to do is, regardless of the circumstances, accept and commit to the fact that this story is over. You know, I've been a life coach for almost 10 years now, and one thing I see happening time and time again that I wish I could stop when I'm coaching people who are healing in the midst of a breakup is that they keep going back, not forwards, not onwards, but back. They continue to text, they continue to talk and communicate where it's not necessary. People continuing to try and find this perfect combination of words that might reignite things or fix things, or just to find some way ultimately, even though they know that it's over, to avoid the pain of this loss. The relationship is clearly over, but we hold on too long. And we have to understand and realize that no amount of words are going to reach someone who doesn't want to hear you. And it makes sense, right? We don't want to lose the people that we care about. So we try and avoid that from happening. We try and keep them close for a little bit longer. And mistakenly, we measure how good our romantic relationships are by their duration and not their quality. And that loss that I'm talking about, it's not just about the person that you lost, but the future and the story that you imagine together. You know, when two people come together and commit to one another, their worlds combine. And over time, a new future of their shared hopes and ambitions and values is born. And it's that imagined future that you share and invest in. And it's what ultimately gives your relationship such power and meaning. The reality is though, when you go through something like a breakup, that future that you'd both imagined whilst you were together, it's over now. And that loss of that story that you had in your mind and your heart, it's hard to let go of. That's what you're grieving as well. And what I wish I could get more people to understand sooner about recovering from heartbreak is that the more you accept that this is it, this story, this adventure, this roller coaster, this dream that you were in, that you had, it's over. And the more you accept that, the faster and the more powerful your healing will be. So you can't have it both ways. You can't go to heal in the same places that you are broken. You can't. You just can't. And we live in this society, in this culture where we all love a good comeback story. We love a good, nice, happy ending where ultimately our feelings and our stories were justified. Things work out. I think because that makes it all worth it. We want to know that ultimately our efforts and our love, they were all worth something. But don't expect that that redemption story, that comeback is going to be you. Don't expect that you are the exception to the rule. Temper your expectations. Even if by some hope or miracle, one day you are somehow going to get back together, you can't expect or bank on that. Because right now, the truth is, today, you're not together. You're apart. And it's over. You are moving on. And if you need a bit of a push, just look at where you are. You're on YouTube watching videos about breakups, trying to find a way to move on and to move on quickly. That tells you something. That's not something you do when you're in a safe, secure, loving, healthy, wonderful relationship. That's something you do when you know that this is the end. So to sum up this point, stories are powerful things because we all live in the midst of a mental movie of who we are, what we're supposed to do and what we're supposed to be, and in this case, what our present and our future was going to look like. And when a breakup happens, the hardest part of accepting that breakup is the fact that that story we held on to has to change. So just stop. Stop texting your ex hoping they will change. Stop giving the person who hurt you 1,000,000 times more and more chances to do it again. Stop reaching out in the middle of the night. Stop sending long texts. Stop thinking of them, looking at their social media. Just stop the story. The second thing I want you to learn and hold tight in your heart is you don't need to do this on your own. In fact, don't place this overwhelming burden and pressure on yourself to figure it all out on your own. Sometimes, and it's tough to say this to people, but wanting to overcome everything alone, shutting the whole world out and being proud of that, boxing yourself in and everyone else out, simply a sign of your own ego. We mistakenly believe that the right answer to being hurt is to do it on our own, to rely on ourselves and to fly solo. Of course, this is a journey that only you can go on. And yes, you are the number one factor in this equation. You are the only person who can heal ultimately. But I'm a big believer in process over outcomes, in nourishing yourself through your people, through the places you're in, and through the habits that you build. And if you hurt your arm right now, if you had a cut right here, you wouldn't just sit around and masturbate to this idea, this affirmation of, I need to heal, I need to heal, I need to do this on my own, I need to heal right now, over and over and over again, would you? No, you'd clean and disinfect the wound. You'd get medical assistance if necessary, and you'd ensure that that wound that you have, it's kept safe while it's still raw. You'd focus on simply allowing your body to heal and repair itself. And over time, given the right care, it would do just that. Healing from heartbreak, it works very much in the same way. That we have to learn to disinfect our emotional wounds and trauma. We have to learn how to keep that raw trauma tucked away from the harmful eyes of people we can't trust. And we have to learn as well to ask better questions of ourselves. What kind of partner do I want? What is non-negotiable for me? What do I want to learn from this experience? Or do I want to just burn from this experience? And most importantly, what kind of habits do I want to create that are going to help me to heal, to move forwards? And the great thing is that you don't even need to come up with an answer to this question, because guess what? You're not the only one that's been here. You're not the only one in the thousands of years of human history that's had their heart broken. And that's a good thing, because there are some universally known practices that if you work to and you discipline yourself towards them, you're going to gain the benefit. You don't need to work them out, you just need to follow them. And those are habits like journaling, exercising, working with a professional coach or therapist, dancing, expressing your emotions, reading books, and so on. My point is, if we know that these are habits and actions that will not just fix, but help to ease our pain, and to make us better, not bitter, and bring us back to life again, we should choose to commit to them and hold on to them like they are life jackets in a storm. So even when the waves of emotion and pain and loss and loneliness, they're coming thick and hard and fast, we've got something to hold us afloat. And speaking of waves, one idea that I've always found helpful in times of crisis is that feelings come and feelings go. Today's wave of how you're feeling and what you're thinking is not the ocean. That even if things hurt right now and you feel really raw and rough and you don't see a way out, you don't see a future, that's okay. You don't need to do anything about that. You don't need to fix it right now. Just sit with it. Let it come and notice those feelings. Meditate on them. What am I feeling? Where do I feel it in my body? Is it a throbbing, dull kind of pain, or is it a dull ache in my chest? When did I first notice it? There might be some bad days, and who knows how long they're going to last, but show up the best you can anyway. Just sit with those emotions, invite them round for tea, like friendly visitors knocking on your door, and learn to know that those waves of emotion are going to pass through you, but they're not going to last forever. Just like waves in the ocean change, this will change too, and there is change on the horizon, because that's the only constant in this world. The last thing that I want to share, and this is something that I cover in depth in my Healing from a Broken Heart course, is knowing how to communicate your needs. Because let's face it, you need help, but that help isn't just going to appear whenever you need it. We tell people all the time that you need to ask for help, but how do you actually do that? How do you say when you need help, and how do you know exactly what to say? Because sometimes our friends and family aren't the best supporters. They don't give us the help we need. And I also know that in that moment where I need help, I'm not going to be so articulate. So one of the things that I've done is create pre-written prompts and questions, so that way all I have to do is fill in the blanks. And one of them is simply this: hey blank, I'm feeling really blank right now. I think I could use your help in this specific way if you have the time and energy. I then go on to share exactly what I think I need. And maybe it's to just ramble my thoughts at them on the phone for a while, or maybe it's to go for a walk and just say nothing, or maybe it's to go for a meal and just have a distraction, whatever it might be. But this way, I get better at taking ownership over asking for the help that I need. And one thing I know to be true is that practice makes permanent. Breakups tend to happen in 3 general phases. You break up, you break down, and then for some, you experience a breakthrough. But the question I'm always interested in is, what is the difference between those who simply learn to cope and then the people who really learn to thrive in the face of this adversity? They learn to really heal and not take that pain forwards. The people who stop the pattern of dysfunction, and they really reach this place of loving kindness and compassion, where the past is a very tiny part of a very large and confident and capable and free self. Obviously, there's so much more to share on this topic, and that's why I've put together my Healing from a Broken Heart course. And this course covers, how to heal your wounds in a healthy way, using the best ideas from coaching and psychology. Things like knowing when to walk away, how to actually break up with someone and have that conversation. But also things like the habits, routines, and meditation that are going to help you to heal. We take a look at some of your past patterns in relationships and how to break free of those patterns, how to forgive yourself and your ex, and heal during your breakup. And lastly, most importantly, learning about things like your attachment styles, what kind of future relationships you want, and the goals that you want to set for yourself, and how to create the right relationship in the future. So if you're interested in this, the first 100 people to sign up using the code EARLYBIRD at the checkout, and the link is in the description, they will get a special 20% discount on the full price. And if you just want more free support here on YouTube, click over here to watch my secret unlisted video training where I share the 10 mistakes that people make that stop them from healing from heartbreak. Thanks so much for watching, everyone, and please do share your stories, your insights and comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.